Welcome back, folks, to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy. It's me, the driver and host, today, Jonah.
And the edgy antagonist and rival slash lover, Kyle.
And I'm here, Ian.
February
Yeah, we've got our
23rd.
introduction down.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
nice.
100% super professional.
Yeah, it was really good. Really good. Excellent. Well, there's two murders, and we gotta solve them. Let's do it.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah,
Two murders.
That
February.
happened at the same time.
Exactly. February 23rd, 2:15 p.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices.
So, Mr. Wright, so what's going on with the case, yo? I'm a little confused.
Huh? Well, let's see. What is going on? The victim, Detective Bruce Goodman, was stabbed to death after 5 p.m. on the 21st. He died in the prosecutor's parking lot in the police department's evidence room.
What's this and the evidence room part? The prosecutor's office and the police department are 30 minutes apart by car. That's whack, yo.
Ellipses. That is whack. Well, that is whack. That's why we're trying to find it out. Or try to, at least.
Yo, let's do it.
Glad she's in good spirits, but I'm not sure she's going to be much help with this.
Don't be so sure, Mr.
How do you
Wright.
keep reading my thoughts? She did this in the trial, too. Huh?
Look, we're in this together, right? I'll prove that these thick-rimmed glasses of mine aren't just for show.
Wait.
Let's go.
I actually sincerely hope that she's psychic. Like that's like a big reveal. Like
Let's go. Science awaits us, bitch.
I think you're gonna be disappointed.
damn.
Don't want to get your hopes up. February 23rd, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. That isn't to say there aren't psychic characters in this shit, in this fucking shit at some point.
You know, I really don't think we should worry about the police department murder.
Damn.
There wasn't even a body found there. Who cares?
Yeah. It was only our victim who was killed in their evidence room. No biggie.
Besides, my sister would never know. My sister would never do such a thing. I know it. That oil drum, was it empty?
Oh my god, it's the super sexy and antagonist, rival, and also lover character.
A drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water.
My sister erasing evidence at the crime scene? Nah, that's whack, yo.
Even though she says they don't get along, Emma really likes her sister.
That's not it at all.
See?
It's just... We're both professionals at what we do, and I trust her.
Big words for a high school student. Well, whether there was blood on the floor or not, the water in that oil drum washed it all away.
Ignore the strength of my science at your own peril, Mr. Wright.
What's that grin for?
The situation calls for one thing, and that is... luminol testing fluid.
Luminol? Get ready to hear the word luminol a lot.
Hell yeah. Blood sticky stuff, you know. You can't just wash it away with a little water. Not that I know from personal experience or dealing with drugs or anything.
Have you ever dissolved a
Even if
body
you can't see it, it's still
in a
there.
bathtub, Emma?
Gross.
It's a Breaking Bad scene, I'm just saying.
I know.
But wouldn't the police have already done those tests?
Never trust anyone's eyes but your own, Mr. Wright. That's why the world's flat.
Yeah, you are a free thinker, all right.
Just give it a try.
Me? Why do I have to do it?
I'm a minor. I can't even drink it. What does that have to do with luminol?
Well, first you have to get shit-faced. We're testing bloodstains with this stuff, not drinking it.
Here, look, I'll lend you these glasses.
Huh? Get an extra pair of those things? This is just what she sees at all times.
To test for a blood reaction, just spray the luminol on it. Like this, see? Press space to spray it. Okay, let's find us some bloodstains.
Okay. Oh. I know. I see it. Thank you.
Oh.
Flashbang.
I can see your eyes shining behind those glasses. So, is this the bloodstain?
It's so,
Emma, you're shaking.
It's just, this is my first time seeing real blood.
Ever?
You've
Scientific
never had like your
investigation
blood
next,
drawn for a test or anything?
right? Or like, I don't know, scraped your knee? Like, I don't know.
Okay, well, we definitely know this is a bloodstain. But doesn't something strike you as odd? Scientifically speaking, of course.
What's odd about this, scientifically?
The amount of blood?
I'm gonna say the amount of blood.
Yeah.
'Cause locations.
Definitely the amount. The perpetrator and Detective Goodman fought here, right? Don't you think there'd be a little more blood?
I definitely think so. I mean, look at all the blood on the sole of the victim's shoe.
It is pretty strange. If they fought here, there'd have to have been more blood than this. Oh my god, the text was way too slow for that.
Hey, Mr. Wright. I'm gonna mark up the floor plans where we find a blood stain, okay? See, I'm pretty handy to have around, right?
Yeah. And this stuff's pretty handy too.
I saved up my allowance to buy that.
Luminol testing fluid. Received from one very proud-looking Emma Sky.
We can't be sure that the police will reveal all the evidence in court.
Wait, so where'd you buy that from? Where do they sell fucking blood testing fluid at?
Actually, I don't imagine that it would be all that dangerous or expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, it's such a weird thing to buy. I don't know.
That's for sure, yeah.
I would assume either from like a
Like
science-oriented
CVS?
store, or like probably just online.
Yeah, I mean, there are chemical dealers online.
I mean, there's a chemist near me.
True. Yeah,
So-
they're just chemists around.
Sometimes they fail to mention evidence that doesn't fit with their view of the case.
And let's drag that hidden evidence out into the light of day.
Yeah,
I like how they're explaining that like this is our first case.
I know.
feels like we're really investigating a crime, doesn't it?
Guess I should give this a spray on anything suspicious. This is Angel, I believe.
Angel? I could be your angle. Huh? I wonder how the fluid of yours would react to a nice deli box.
Mister,
You only trust your own eyes, hmm? Not bad, you two. This day old deli box is on the house.
Sorry, it's just that kind of lead-in doesn't really get my mouth watering.
You certainly put me in a tight spot today.
My apology, Miss Star, but
No. It's okay. It was my fault.
oh, we know.
I witnessed everything from the security room right there. But I was afraid that wouldn't sound convincing enough, you see. I was wrong to think that. I'm sorry.
Sorry, you lied on the witness stand. Isn't that like a crime, yo?
It's a pretty serious crime, actually. Wait, ellipses. Little girl, don't forget what's important here. Even if the place I witnessed the events from was different, I still saw what I saw. I saw Chief Prosecutor Sky stab a man in cold blood, and then that testimony still stands. I swear on the honor of my as a detective, she stabbed Goodman.
Ellipses.
I know this photograph has something important to tell us, but what?
So were you a detective, weren't you, Miss Star? Oh, you were a detective.
Yeah, it was a long time ago, but, well, about 2 years ago. No matter how hard the criminal, when they faced me, they coughed it right up.
Coughed it up? Yeah, Phoenix, that's why she's called the Cough-Up Queen. Get with it.
They confessed. They blabbed like babies. You know, I may seem like a demon sometimes, but I can be an angel too.
She could be your angel or your devil, oh my god!
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Every day, I drag the dirt out of the mouths of the suspects after suspect. And before long, they called me the Cough-Up Queen.
Oh, and here I thought someone had gotten food poisoning from your lunches.
And you were let go? Fired?
I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if these prim and proper prosecutors hadn't let me go, I'd still be one today. It's all because of that case, the SL9 incident.
SL9? Wait, she doesn't mean... Alright. You need to look at this one, please.
If you think about it, I could have taken that picture from the guard room. Even though I got flustered sometimes.
So, you went straight to the scene of the crime?
I was towards the chain link fence in an effort to stop the murderer. Oh, that's when I saw this photo, yeah?
In other words, 5 minutes after the crime?
It was 5 minutes of the whole problem. The whole of my testimony, as it were.
The 5 minutes weren't the problem, Miss Star. You lying was the problem.
Listen, little girl. I've had my testimony disregarded before. I wasn't gonna have it disregarded again. Just like that time.
That time.
That time.
Alright, what do you think about this? Oh.
What do you think about this?
God damn it! Why do I keep doing that?
Emma, stop reading his mind, damn it! The SL9 incident. It's written on the knife. And on that note, Goodman. Goodman was the head detective of the case, you know.
Really?
That knife was evidence from that case, the murder weapon. It was due for transfer that very day that Goodman was killed. As I suspected. SL9 isn't over. Not yet.
Do you think you could tell us more about the SL9 incident?
That incident really did open up my eyes to the truth. We're nothing to them. Disposable.
Disposable to who?
The elite. They don't want you to know this, but the ducks in the parks are free. 2 years ago, it was the biggest case I'd ever handled. The police and the prosecutors were desperate for decisive evidence.
So, they didn't solve it?
On the contrary, it was solved quite cleanly. Oof. The criminal was caught and executed.
Executed?
Yes, the criminal they got was coming to him. Doesn't get any cleaner than that. The only problem was, they never did find the decisive evidence. Not a shred.
What? But the criminal was executed, right?
On the basis of evidence of a sort. Made up evidence.
What? You mean they executed someone with fabricated evidence?
Ellipses. And the best part came several months after the trial. Every detective involved with the case was dealt with. Some were demoted to patrolmen, others found themselves out of a job.
And you were one of those?
Myself and one other person you know well.
Wait, could it be...
Exactly. Detective Jake Marshall. Oops. I mean, Police Department Security Detail Officer Jake Marshall.
Ooh, tell me more.
As professional detectives, we investigated that case from every angle. From every angel.
From every devil.
Jake was particularly determined. And then it was over. And he was demoted. However, he hasn't forgotten. And neither have I.
You haven't forgotten SL9? No shit, Phoenix.
There was another side to that case. A hidden side. That's what we're after now. And no one up in their fancy offices can stop us.
Wait. Those lunches you sell.
There's only one reason I came to sell lunches in this accursed office. I came here to meet old friends, boyfriends that can help me investigate.
The Star's old boyfriends. How many does she have, anyway? Just when all the detectives on SL9 have disappeared, we find new evidence.
There has to be a connection.
So, rookie,
What?
it seems like you're serious about investigating this case.
Yeah?
Then you should take this.
Salisbury steak lunch?
And a certain guy who might help you if you tempt him with this treat.
Steak lunch received from Miss Star.
Miss Stop. Officer Marshall, is he your, are you his, are you going out?
Why do you want to know?
I was just wondering what happened to him.
Lovely story.
A long time ago when he was helping my sister do cases, he was so nice. He got along so well with my sister, it made me jealous. And he was nice to me too back then.
You were like 8 years old, probably. would be when Officer Marshall was a detective.
But now he's so cold.
Ellipsis. Jake and I are merely cooperating on this investigation. Apologies, give me a second.
No worries.
We're putting the past to rest, as it were. Nothing more than that.
I see. Thank you.
Officer Jake Marshall. Alright. February 23rd, Police Department, entrance. It's even busier here today than it was yesterday.
The detectives are running around here so fast they're blurry.
Suppose it makes sense. Detective did get killed here after all.
So the evidence room, the scene of the crime. According to the pamphlet we got at the front desk, here it is.
She's like a kid in an amusement park.
Ooh, a real crime scene. Let's take a look.
You just freaked out about blood at the last one, man. February 23rd, evidence room entrance, guard station. I love this fucking setup.
Oh my god.
This is the decor in this place. It's very, eccentric.
This guy drinks.
Yeah, Jesus. I hope those are empty. According to the pamphlet, this is the guard station for the evidence room.
So, beyond that door is the evidence room. The scene of the crime.
Sure seems that way. Oh.
So, since the evidence room is back there, right? That means we passed through this. Because SL9 happened before, like, the first game, right? That means we passed through this room and we had nothing to say about that.
Yeah, that is true.
What's wrong?
It's those cacti. They're so prickly, so imposing. It's hard to think straight.
If you can't handle the cacti, stay out of the desert. What I want to know is, if this is a guard station, where's the guard?
I have a feeling I know who he is already.
I wonder who. Okay.
Oh. You gotta go back to the entrance?
Yeah. Back to the entrance. This place is charged with frantic energy, as always. Fuck, I think... Meekens? Please!
Huh? Wasn't that...
Oh, shit. Sorry, pal, my voice cracked there. One steak lunch, please. Oh, it's you. Detective Gumshoe. Now's no time for chit-chat, pal. I'm a busy man. What I really need is a steak from the lunch land.
Oh, you mean one of these? Actually, it's not for sale.
Ellipses. Ellipses. I think I just heard the sound of his heart breaking. Now's no time for despair, pal. We caught our criminal. Now we just need evidence. The criminal? You mean... Heard about the stabbing in the police department evidence room, right, pal? The same day that a detective was killed in the prosecutor's parking lot, another detective was killed at the police department?
And the perpetrator? Do you have a suspect? Well, there was a suspect. Just arrested him, in fact.
It's the biggest scandal to hit the station in ages. Everything's topsy-turvy. But, Detective Gumshoe, who is it? Listen, pal, all I know is I need my steak lunch, pronto. Standing here around talking isn't gonna fill my belly. Okay, bye.
Wait, don't leave.
If you want to know more, head on down to the detention center, pal. Questioning should be over, so I figure he's down there having a good cry. Later.
He ran off to the evidence room.
Well, this investigation is off to a running start. Alright. Who's our man that they caught? Oh god, where is it? Oh god, where is it? Oh god. Look here. 23rd, Police Criminal Affairs. Robert looks deadly serious here.
Well, there was a vicious murder of a detective down at the police department.
Yeah, but the same detective was also killed at the same time in the prosecutor's lot.
Ugh, it makes my head hurt.
Well, first things first. Let's go check out the police department crime scene.
Yes, you sound dead set on investigating. But don't mess up, or we could wind up dead.
I don't know anyone wants more mysteries or dead bodies around here right now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to help us out much either. Alright, I think I need to move... Yeah, here we go.
Was that a pun?
A play on words. February 23rd, detention center, visitors room.
Still, I don't feel better about things. A little. Oh, I do feel better about things. I mean, they caught the person who stabbed Detective Goodman, didn't they?
Yeah, I guess they did. Best not to go too far down that road right now. Things will just get confusing.
Ow.
What was that?
Sir, that's what I'm saying! Me, a perpetrator? I'd say I was the perpetrated against, sir. That's what I'd say. Oh, hi. Greetings, sir.
Wait, I know who you are.
Excuse me, but is Mr. Edgeworth anywhere on the premises? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir.
Officer Meekens? So you're a guard here at the detention center?
No, sir, I'm not, sir. I'm a little lost patrolman like a little lost lamb, sir.
Oh, I get it. You're here to deliver a report?
No, sir, how should I say this? Wait, he isn't, is he? Officer Meekens, you didn't, did you? Perpetrator Officer Meekens reporting, sir!
Yikes.
Why didn't they take that away from him when they arrested him? Now this is an unexpected turn of events. Alright. Oh, Jesus. Sir, I'm a patrolman with general affairs, sir! Sir! Ow, I can hear you fine, Officer Meekens. I had some business that day, sir, so I went to the evidence room, sir. The guard station in front of the room was empty, sir.
Normally there's a guard at the evidence room.
That's right, sir. Evidence is kept in the evidence room, sir. Now, the security officer was none other than Officer Marshall. Marshall? Then, sir, I happened to glance at the security room monitor. That's when I saw him, sir. A suspicious person in the evidence room. A suspicious person, sir! A suspicious person! Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. What is this guy doing?
So what happened then?
After that, sir, everything went white. I saw red. I blacked out. When I came to, I was here, in the detention center. How long were you out? Days?
Might I ask, what happened to your hand?
Sir, there was no one to bandage me, sir. So I did what I could to wrap it up, sir. A bandage on his hand. Just like in the sky.
Yet another similarity between this case and the one at the prosecutor's office.
First things first, tell us how you hurt your hand. But not that, actually. I don't mean to pry, but are you the perpetrator? You are the perpetrator, correct? You killed Detective Bruce Goodman in the evidence room, right? Sir, please don't look at me with those sad puppy dog eyes, sir. If you have to label me as perpetrator or victim, sir, then label me victim. Would you happen to be in detention and alive and well at that? Ah, yes, well, that's true, sir. I suppose you could say that. Did you know the victim, Detective Goodman? Well, sir, if I had to label him as a stranger or a total stranger, then I'd say he leans heavily on the total stranger side. So you didn't know him? Sir, I work in a tiny department devoid of light or other creature comforts. I don't know any detectives.
So if he was a total stranger, why did you stab him?
Sir, I had no intention of killing him, sir. None. Nor do I have any recollection of killing him, sir. Someone around here is more confused than I am. About your hand. Did that happen during the course of the crime? Well, you see, sir,
Don't you think you should just confess?
But, sir, there was nothing I could do. Nothing you could do? Sir, to tell the truth, sir, when it happened, when the detective pointed that knife at me, I just hollered, sir. And the next thing I knew, I was unconscious. The next thing you knew, you were, huh? Then, when I opened my eyes, I was alone in the evidence room, sir. All alone. Alone because Detective Goodman had disappeared.
What?
Then when I looked down, I was gushing blood from my hand, sir. Oh, the shock. Oh, the sorrow, sir. Can you imagine how I felt? The victim's body disappeared?
That's some story.
Alright. Where is it? Oh, this one.
Do you think you could take a look at this?
Ellipses! Hey! That's it, sir! That's it! That's it!
That's what?
My head was blank until this very moment. But, sir, now I remember. I remember, sir. You mean you remember what happened? Correct! The card that card was the cause of it all.
This ID card?
Exactly, sir. That's exactly it. Nothing could be more exact, sir. Nothing. I'd better pry into this one a little deeper. Can you tell me what it is you do remember? Well, sir, you might say I'm a little lost patrolman, a lost little lamb, if you will. Yeah, you said that. I didn't know Mr. Detective Goodman who was in the evidence room. And that's why you thought he looked suspicious? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to show his ID card.
Well, that sounds pretty much by the book so far.
That's right, sir. That's what I've been trying to tell you. So you asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card? What did he do? That's the thing. Suddenly he pointed a knife at me.
What?
Sir, I assure you I was flustered as you are right now. So I whooped and leapt at him. Detective Goodman pointed a knife at him? Do unto others before they do unto you. My own father's words, sir.
What happened then?
Well, my eyes, sir. Everything went white. When I woke, I was there. Right.
So, Officer Meekens, why was it that they arrested you?
What do you mean, Emma?
Let's look at what we know. Now, Officer Meekens didn't know Detective Goodman. And the victim, whom he met at the scene of the crime, didn't show his ID card.
In other words, we have no way of knowing if the victim was really the victim.
And if this body just disappeared from the evidence room, we don't even know if anyone actually died.
That's it, sir. That's what I wanted to say. That is, I did say something along those lines.
Huh? But you still ended up here?
They told me that I had to be here, sir. On that day, at that time. Detective Goodman was definitely in the evidence room. That's what they said. But you don't remember the events today? Or clearly? No, but the videotape is quite clear.
Huh? Videotape?
Oh, fuck. Not the videotape. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's a bad omen. From the security camera. The crime, my crime, the crime I swore to stamp out. It's there, it's me, it's on tape. Ellipses. Ellipses. And you, oh shit.
And you waited until now to tell us this?
I'm sorry, really sorry, sir. I'll hand over my badge. I don't deserve it. No, thanks. I have my own. I guess we better go check out the crime scene. Oh, Meekens. February 23rd, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department.
Hey, Mr. Wright. Look who's standing at the Chief of Detectives desk.
It's Police Chief Gant.
And so you're sure this is all, hmm? And you know what it means if there's anything missing.
Sir, I'm sure it's the most likely totally perfect. We checked all his drawers, lockers, garbage cans, bags, coat pockets, hats. Under his seat cushion, behind his computer monitor, inside his personal coffee machine.
I see. Well, if anything does turn up, you call me right away, deal?
Yes, sir. We'll scour the place again, sir. Chief of Detectives looks a little flustered.
Ha ha ha! Righto, my boy. How you been? Swim much?
Oh, Chief Gant, reporting for duty, sir.
Why are you saluting him, Mr. Wright?
Is Edgeworth gonna be okay?
Oh, were they? Well, you know, they're doing a little inquiry committee with him. Sounds like an inquisition. Yep, well, they've had no end of trouble with the boy since last year.
You mean the incident on Gord Lake?
It doesn't look good having a top prosecutor sit in the defendant's seat, does it? And you got someone else found guilty in that case, right, Righto?
Lon Karma.
A legend he was, undefeated in his 40-year career. But in court, you fixed it so he was caught for forging evidence.
Wait, I didn't do anything wrong. He did forge evidence.
In any case, the prosecutor's office is in a bit of turmoil, you might say. Why, they do just about anything to restore their reputation. Now, depending on what that inquiry committee decides, it could be bad for Worthy. What? It's downright odd, I tell you. The detective getting killed on their turf, too, I mean.
There. You mean the prosecutors, I assume?
Scientifically speaking, it's impossible. Yes, but that's what the evidence is saying. Goodman was stabbed in 2 locations at the same time. That's what it says.
What evidence is this?
Now, Righto, I can't give away all our secrets just like that. And this in particular, well, it's a little sensitive and I can't talk about it.
Wasn't expecting much anyway.
You know, one thing I hate most of all is hiding stuff. Secrets, I can't stand them. But you know, it's a full-time job just keeping the chief of detectives trap shut. Ah, he was the one you were picking on earlier. Huh? You saw that?
Wonder what it was that he wanted the chief of detectives to do.
Let's see if we can kind of discreetly ask him.
Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry you had to see that.
What exactly did the chief of police want you to do?
I love how it's like, there's no like big version of him, so he's just standing all the way across the room. We'll see that over there? That's Goodman's desk. He wanted me to check it for anything that might be a clue. They took away every last piece of garbage in the trash can. Could you come over here? I'm tired of yelling.
So, nothing belonging to Detective Goodman is still here, is that right?
Of course not. Seriously, like, I can barely hear you. Well, except for this. Fucking throws it at them.
You kept something?
Sure, why not? It's not important. He didn't even finish writing it. It's a lost item report, but it's only half complete.
A lost item? Did Detective Goodman lose something?
The date on it is February 21st. Better make a note of that, just in case. Goodman's Oswald Sliding report, half-written document dated 2/21, can only be submitted to the chief of police.
I like that Phoenix is yelling in his mind too.
I should really get back to the investigating the police department crime scene. But first, I'm going to show you this. I was wondering, did you take a look at this?
Oh, sorry, Wright. I'm through with that stuff. Through, I say. Go find that guy who can't seem to sit still out there. The busy one. Guy who can't sit still? Does he mean Detective Gumshoe?
Either him or the dancing blue
Either him
badger.
or the dancing blue badger.
Okay. Actually, I was wondering if I could ask you a favor.
Well, I never thought the day would come when Wrighto asked me for help.
I was wondering if we could investigate the evidence room.
Now, Wrighto.
Actually, I'm sorry. I don't need to investigate after all.
Wrighto, please. Do I look like a selfish man?
Huh?
Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. Hey, Gant, can I get $50 from you? So, go ahead. Investigate that room to your heart's content. Knock yourself out. It just goes to show you never know until you ask. And for you, here, you can borrow this. Hey, this is a detective's ID card, isn't it? That's a special card for guests, so don't lose it. Yes, sir, it's an honor. You just run along now and do your best now. Later, folks. It looks pretty cool on my lapel, doesn't it? Just think, a real ID.
Seem happy?
Yes, sir, because we're going into the evidence room now, sir.
I think this place is a bad influence on the girl. Yeah, don't talk to Meekens. I think we go back here and then we go out. I fucking hate the way you have to get around here. Yeah, there we go, guard station. The evidence room is beyond that door.
And we have the ID card from Chief Gant. Let's just walk in. It won't open.
Aha! The card reader's turned off, see?
What is that security guard thinking?
Howdy, partners. Well, well. What's made my Bambina skies so gray? Officer Marshall. Why does it have to be him? What's that? Why does it have to be him look for? As you may have surmised, this here's my saloon.
We're here to investigate the crime scene.
Wait, so he just sells alcohol, right? That's why he has so much?
Yeah. Ellipses. Yeehaw! That card you got there on your chest? That's better than a sheriff's badge in these parts.
Yeehaw.
Well, what you standing there for? Get along, little doggies. Crime scene's away. I mean, he is actively drinking in front of us, though. It's just Pepsi in there. Looks like the card reader's on again. While we're here, I was wondering if we could ask you some questions. Sorry, cowboy, but I got no mind to tangle with you, hombres. You're busy then? Did I say that? I only said I didn't wish to speak with you. Actually, you said you had no mind to tangle with us, hombres. But you will talk to me if I give you a Salisbury steak. Ellipses, that smell. Ah, reminds me of Texas.
So, Officer Marshall, you're from Texas?
No, I just saw a special on television the other day. This is from my baby.
Yeah, Miss Star.
Well, what's this?
What's wrong?
A filet steak lunch. I see.
I don't see. I wonder what it means.
Steak lunch given to Officer Marshall. All right, Bambina, you win. Ask anything. Finally, seems like it.
He's willing to talk.
All right.
Officer Marshall, you're in charge of security for the evidence room, right?
You got good eyes, partner. It's an easy job, and I'm grateful for it. Why'd you let Maya get? Why'd you let me and Maya get shocked by half a lightning bolt in there? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Actually, Officer Meekens at the detention center told us. That poor little doggy. Poor guy. Kept getting his name wrong, calling him Meekly. He told us something. He said that when the stabbing occurred, you weren't at your station. Ellipses. Well, maybe I shouldn't be telling you this. Since I got demoted from detective 2 years ago, well, might not look it, but I lost my fire for the job, you know?
So, what were you doing around 5:15 when the murders took place?
Well, I reckon I was galloping down a highway on the back of my steed, Zippy.
Note, he was riding down the highway on his horse named Zippy.
There's no need for people here anyway. These newfangled machines do a bang-up job of keeping an eye on the place. I mean, the security camera system? I don't take the machines much. Kind of like that stewed broccoli they sneak in next to your steak, you know? I figured he'd call it broccoli because he's a loser.
Miss Starr told us something. She said that you were a detective until 2 years ago.
It was always my dream to be a rawhide wrangler on the scene of a crime. That's all gone now, like a drinking hole in a prairie fire.
You're still investigating the L9 incident with Miss Starr, aren't you?
That was my case. It's all solved on the record books, but it smells like a bad game of poker. Can't let it go. That's all there is to it.
What kind of case was it anyway? We've heard the name so many times, but no one tells us what actually happened.
Ellipses. There are some things you're better off not knowing, Bambina. Anyway, that case is officially dead as of 2 days ago. 2 days ago? The day of our case. That's right. The evidence transfers. Angela's talking about the transfers too. I know that maybe two of the machines in here do.
Only 2 of them? There must be a dozen.
Like I said, Bambina, me and machines, well, I like them about as much as I like stewed cauliflower with my steaks. Easiest ones to understand are these here security cameras. Those are the ones that Officer Meekens mentioned. If nothing happens, the tapes are automatically erased every few hours.
And Officer Meekens and Detective Goodman, are they on one of those tapes?
I reckon they might be. You're a security guard, and you reckon? One more thing. When you go into the evidence room, you need an ID card. That's the card reader by the door. The card reader leaves a record of every ID card that passes through. So this is the ID card record.
Hey, I've seen that somewhere before.
Sorry, Bambina, I can't show you more than that.
Huh?
I haven't heard whether this is related to the case yet.
Mr. Wright, I saw a number on that record just now. I've seen that number before.
Maybe there's some way I can prove that record is tied to the stabbing. Sorry, but could you explain the whole transferal thing is about? We keep only evidence from solved cases in this room. They're kept here under the presiding detective's supervision for 2 years. So we can reinvestigate them if it turns out there was a mistake, see? So what happens to the evidence after 2 years? It goes to sleep forever in the underground vault of the county sheriff's department. That's what we call transferal. We do it every February.
I See now.
Transferals like a funeral for old cases. 2 years after a case is solved, it's closed forever. Dead. Never to be reopened again. Never to be reinvestigated. That happened to SL9 2 days ago. Alright. Oops. Wrong button. Oops, wrong button. PC controls are ass. Alright.
See, this is the victim's ID card.
Ah, the one that was on the ground in the parking lot. The number on this is 5842189.
Officer Marshall, show us that ID card record again. Look, that fourth number, it's a perfect match.
It was used at 514, right before the stabbing. What's more, there's only one of them cards in the world.
So, when that incident occurred, Detective Goodman was in the evidence room.
But wait, what did Officer Meekens say? Sir, I entered the evidence room and asked the man to display his ID card. So he asked Detective Goodman to show his ID card? What did he do? That's the thing! He suddenly pointed a knife at me! He had his ID card then. Why would he have pointed a knife at Officer Meekens? Alright, compadre, you win. Guess I can give you this ID card record. Cool. IDs of all who entered the evidence room on 221. Got an idea. Maybe I should show this list to other people with IDs here. Alright. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. It's quiet. The investigation must be over there. Huh?
I recognize that metal detector and fishing pole.
Yeah.
So this is the evidence room? It really is kind of like a graveyard.
Graveyards are supposed to have grass and trees. This feels more like a morgue.
Nice try, Mr. Wright. You can't scare me. Sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
I wouldn't recommend going around smacking ghosts on the head, pal. So it is true what I heard.
Righto, please, do I look like a selfish man? Heck, if anyone asked me, sir, can I borrow $50? I'd give them $50, no problem. So go ahead, investigate the room to your heart's desire. Knock yourself out.
Yeah, it's true. So the chief of police can't. Will loan anyone $50? Even me?
Yeah, it's understandable. I get that's what you were talking about.
Actually, I was put in charge of the investigation for today. Just for today?
Boss for a day.
But guess what? You got permission from the chief. So now you're the boss for the day. Gee, thanks. First of all, you'll want to have this. Evidence room floor plans. Scene of stabbing. Alright, Gummy. Just talk to him, yeah.
So, Detective Gumshoe, you a boss for the day?
That's right. It's an honor. After all, the murder took place right here in the police department.
But if you're boss, why are you all alone? Where are your underlings?
Ellipses. They're using yesterday's findings to prepare for tomorrow's trial. In other words, you got kicked out of the investigation again. I'm adamant, though. I'm gonna take control and put this case to rest. My own evidence blocker, pal. You have a locker in here too, Detective Gumshoe? Of course. I'm a detective, after all. They gave me a locker and that only I can open, pal. Only you can open. Oh, shit.
Only you can open?
I'll always believe in Mr. Edgeworth, no matter what happens.
So, Mr. Edgeworth is the with the inquiry committee right now, then, right?
They're trying to figure out who's responsible for the mess up in the court today. I see. I guess this is what you call fate. Mr. Edgeworth just can't get away from that case. That case? Yeah, that case. The SL9 incident, of course. That was the beginning of the end for Mr. Edgeworth. Maybe we can get him to tell us more about the case. This place is more high-tech than you might think. Every locker is fixed so that only one detective can open it. Using their ID card? Well, that's the thing, pal. ID cards can be lost. Why, I'm on my third card since entering the force already.
That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, but even I can't lose my own right hand.
Right hand? Oh, you mean your fingerprint?
Exactly, pal. The lock for each locker is coded with a fingerprint. So the only locker we can open is our own.
Funny, they look like normal lockers.
These are the latest model. There's a trick to the handles, see?
The handles?
On the other side of the handles is a sensor, and if the wrong person touches it...
Bazam, you get a shock.
If that's what happened, my hand would be black and smoking every day. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. Only assigned detectives brings to unlock it. Indicator lamp lights up when it's open. Alright. Yeah, you... Nope. Take a look at this knife also. Except for Goodman's note, and that switchblade knife. But Edgeworth was the most surprised of anyone. Because of the SL9 connection. That was Mr. Edgeworth's first big case, you know, 2 years ago. That was the first time the world knew Edgeworth was a man to be feared. Why would evidence from that case turn up now? Guess it's not over, pal. Maybe there are some loose ends left on that case. Now that was a bloody violent case. Violent? So it was a murder? A serial killing? Serial killing? Maybe I don't want to get involved in this after all. But the killer made a mistake and Mr. Edgeworth built his case around that to nab him.
And this was 2 years ago?
That put Mr. Edgeworth right in the spotlight. And started a rumor mill. Rumors about forged evidence? It was supposed to be all cleaned up with the transferal the other day. It was the last job he ever did. Detective Goodman, that is.
Huh? What do you mean?
Detective Goodman was the detective in charge of the SL9 incident, see?
So, that switchblade knife.
The victim took the knife out of the evidence locker himself? Alright. What's this? Blood?
It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here.
Looks like someone tried to wipe it off.
Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in this room?
We should use her testing fluid to check it out. Glove.
Someone's left a glove here, but only one.
Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. That's evidence from the case, you know. I mean, SL9 does have a tag on it. Rubber glove, tag evidence from SL9. It's an extremely thin rubber glove. Alright. Wait, use it. Let me say one thing as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. No, you didn't want that. How do I use the fucking spray?
Spacebar.
No, that just brought up the actually, let's see if I can do it this way.
Present it here.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, there you go. And then E to spray. There you go.
How pixelated
Knew
that
it.
is. Hell yeah.
This is someone's right handprint.
What? What's the matter, detective? It's pretty obvious. This locker. It's mine.
It's yours?
Please. You have to help me when they come to take me away. Promise you'll testify that I won't harm or fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pal? It's an important clue. Just gotta jot it down in the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police.
What? But you're a detective.
I know all their secrets, pal. Okay. And down here, yeah. There must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. Not a professional, but what's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien?
This proves that something really happened in front of his locker.
I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, you don't want my opinion. You shouldn't have asked. Okay. This one. What job, Gumshoe? What do you mean? Fucking guide. Slide to left and spray the upper left locker. This one? Oh, there it is. Fucking just randomly, wildly spraying around the room.
Why am I getting a reaction here?
There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if you fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal.
What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid.
Where'd you get your hands on that?
Huh?
I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where
What
do you get this, Emma?
I always buy it by mail order.
Well, I'd better jot this down on the floor plans. Alright. I think that we're done with that. We go back over here. Let's look at these.
Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces.
Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. It's apparently from the case.
The case.
The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of those pieces there? Another piece of SL9 evidence.
Yeah, let's take a closer look. There's some red on there.
Yeah. Wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke.
You want to try to put it back together?
Good luck, pal. There's no job for amateurs. I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up.
That's why I always carry around a tube of glue.
Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place.
Yeah, puzzle.
Puzzle time. Puzzle time. But... oh, fuck me.
Oh, good lord.
Okay, it says choose fourth piece from the right.
Just using a guide because the rotation is terrible.
Yep. This is the fourth piece from the right, right? But like none of those sides match up. Unless it's this one.
Right. I think it's it's that one.
That one. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I was looking at fourth piece to the left. Now this one goes here. And then this one goes here.
There we go.
And then this one goes, oops, here.
Okay. Oh my goodness. What is this fucking Vegas? Holy shit.
There we go.
Yeah, that way.
And then, it should be this one. Yeah.
Oh, we got a piece missing. Huh? Well, I think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing.
Yeah, I got that for 2 in 2 minutes myself. The problem is finishing it. Yeah, sure,
Were
Gumshoe.
some pieces stolen?
I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jaw.
I can't understand how it got broken.
Unstable jar to the court record. Pieces missing. Alright. And now let's talk about this. Could you take a look at this? This is the ID card record of the people who came in here on the day of the stabbing. I heard the rumors. So it was Goodman who came in here at the time of the murder. Whoa.
What is it?
The second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth.
What?
ID card record updated to the court record. Why would Edgeworth have to come to the evidence room? Hey, Prowl, look at the time. Was there something you needed to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. Planning to give him my report for the day. Oh, amazing. That's a reference to the third game. the graphic on there. It might help, you know.
Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer?
One that says nothing but no problems. Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure I could use a report like this. I believe in him. He needs enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe. I'm off, Prowl. See you later. I should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. February 23rd, High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Oh.
Ah, guests, my apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I believe your leave. I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here?
There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right.
He has the hotel bring him tea service?
Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way,
By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you.
yes. He brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be visiting that restaurant in 2 games. The real info's on the other side, Edgeworth. Oh, shit. That was a weird delivery of that line. I apologize. What the fuck?
Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, I think this whole thing is really taking a toll on him.
So, how'd the inquiry committee go?
Actually, they decided to treat this as not as a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again.
again.
I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago.
Are you okay for the trial tomorrow?
Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However,
Something happened.
they gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for this case will be directed by the Chief of Police Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results.
I see.
Why, I ask you? Why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still.
Wow, never seen this out of sorts. Okay. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, right. I better check on this now.
As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage?
Edrith, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less.
Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go by Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? He wanted evidence for a case that wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted me to keep it here in the prosecutor's office.
But it was solved, right? It would have to be in the. It would have to be if the evidence was already filed.
The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case.
Now I'm curious about this other case. Better make note of it. Evidence from a past case of Edgeworth's brought back to his office by Gant's request.
Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case.
Okay, okay.
Ellipses. I know you. You've probably got a hold of some information already, right?
It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. And some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in.
You are the man who revived the worst memory of my life. I figured I'd be telling you about this sooner or later.
He must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth.
The SL9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Grant.
That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago, too, then?
He was a top officer, and it was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth?
What I want to know is why I wasn't deputy chief of police on the investigation.
In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed.
Wait, you didn't?
Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to win a trial. However, I do have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, Emma, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister, what? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today, Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminal testing fluid? Well then, you might have some use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints. It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? We are the enemy, you know. I've no say in today's investigation. Do as you will.
Edgeworth, I'm really...
No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved.
Thanks. I'll give you these Detective Gumshoe as well. Fingerprinting set.
Well, let's get going. One last investigation.
Right. I do seem to remember seeing suspicious handprints somewhere. Alright. Peace out, Edgeworth.
Back to the evidence room?
Yep. Oh, no, that wasn't it. God, fuck. There we go. February 23rd, evidence room, sector 3. Our investigation turned up as a suspicious handprint.
Here in this blood on the detective's evidence locker.
Let's use the secret weapon we just borrowed.
Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger.
A finger.
Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will left behind the clearest print. The pointer.
Yeah, I really can't tell the difference between at a glance. It's actually gonna be the thumb.
Oh yeah, that makes sense actually.
The thumb is not a finger.
And choose a finger. I mean, oops. Let me show you how it's done.
The thumb does typically have the clearest print, though, on handprints.
Yeah. Also, like, when you tell people how many fingers you got left, do you say 4 fingers and a thumb, or do you say 5 fingers? 5-finger discount. Oh, this is you.
Emma's starting to get that sparkle in her eyes.
First, we sprinkle the aluminum powder around.
Huh? How do you do that?
With space, see?
Ah, it looks like that did the trick.
The aluminum powder adheres completely to the print. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess.
How do I do that?
With E. Exciting, I know.
In the original game, you actually had to blow on the microphone. You actually blew on the controller. Yeah.
I hate using the microphone, the DS microphone for anything.
Yeah, it's awful.
Imagine you're blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see?
Yeah, by pressing E. That's how I do it in real life. Wow, that looks like fun. I love pressing the E button.
It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. You just pour the powder on thick and blow away the extra. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright.
Guess I better give it a try.
That DS microphone is the reason why I can't play the fucking Spirit Tracks Zelda game. Whichever one has the pan flute.
Yeah, that's Spirit Tracks.
Yeah.
E.
Aha! You did it. You found one. I can't do the pan flute thing, so I just softboard out of the game.
Yeah. No, it's awful. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint.
Now that you mention it, I guess it doesn't.
What does it mean?
What does it? It thinks it. It think it means.
It think it means. That's a typo.
We're out of luck. Just like
Move
my
the
grandma.
zinc. You know what you're doing.
Out of luck. First,
The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves.
ellipses. Don't tell me you've been wasting our time here.
Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with scientific investigations.
There's also a second handprint. Did we forget about that one, guys?
But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't we look for other prints?
Other prints.
Looking at the locker door again closely. It looks like there are fingerprints outside of the bloody handprint as well. Let's see if we can find a clear print.
Fingerprints outside the blood. E.
Oh.
Is that good enough? E.
Yay! A print so clear it's dazzling.
Dazzling?
Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away.
So we're not done yet. This is quite a process.
Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right?
I guess she's right.
Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth. And point out the person you think left these prints.
Huh? How am I supposed to know who it was?
I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means that the prints probably don't have anything to do with that case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? It's gonna be Gumshoe.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be Gumshoe. Whoa, it's the perfect match.
Aha! So these prints belong to Detective Gumshoe.
Ellipses.
Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me the so what look.
I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what?
Okay, so we came up with nothing this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright.
Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right?
Wait, there was a handprint here. Okay, wanna try using this?
There you go. There go Rice sparkling again. Alright, let's check for prints.
That's the spirit. Oh, but I have to warn you about something first.
What?
The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical.
Oh, we only ended up finding it using chemical means.
Any prints in that area will have been wiped away, too.
Oh, right. So that means no prints?
Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high?
Don't ask me.
Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away.
Prints other than the ones left by the bloody hand.
Oh.
Well, we're gonna dust like right here. This is so
Damn,
much.
I would have thought it would have been the locker handle.
Nah.
Or the cloth hanging out of the locker. I presume that's just a red herring that's been left for us.
The, which one? This one?
Yeah.
We'll get to it. There we go. Alright, who we got a match with?
Not Demon.
Not Meekens.
Ooh. Oh. This looks spot on,
Yeah.
Mr. Marshall.
Yeah, Marshall, what's going on with that one, buddy? Hey, these fingerprints, they...
Whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know?
It's Officer Marshall.
Huh? Officer Jake Marshall.
Marshall's fingerprints added to the court record.
That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime.
Emma. This is decidedly different from Detective Gumshoe's prints.
Ellipses.
We know it wasn't Gumshoe. He's not capable of doing this. He's an idiot. The luminol reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place.
Oh.
So, we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped bloodstain.
But why would Officer Marshall?
It looks like our investigation is finally turning up some results.
Ellipses.
I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence.
I don't believe it.
To be continued.
Jeez Louise. That was a lengthy ass investigation.
I know. There's still one more. This case is very, very long. February 24th, 9:41 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2.
So what do you think, Mr. Wright?
I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 different places at the same time. And a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes.
Lana.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though.
So how'd it go?
Since Mr. Wright suspects, the police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck the plea bargain.
A plea bargain? What do you mean by that?
We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma.
But Lana, don't tell me you...
Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. This guy. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's the trump card I have up my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you?
In order to defend my sister, you're gonna accuse Mr. Marshall?
We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Sky? Ellipses. Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. February 24th, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, courtroom number 9.
Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
The prosecution is...
Ellipses. I'm afraid you'll have to clarify.
It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time.
But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared.
Yeah, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edgeworth's car.
Wow, this is one messed up trial.
One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I will present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself.
And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Very well. Let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Sorry, I don't know what the fuck happened there. Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness of the day to the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go.
Will the witness please state his name and occupation?
They took the megaphone from him. Oh, no, they didn't.
No, they
Oh,
did
God.
not. Yes, sir, I'm Officer Mike Meekens, sir. My occupation is, that would be murderer, sir. Ellipses.
Ellipses.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir.
Actually,
Sir, I'm what you'd call part of the younger generation, sir. A person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, please help me out. Oh, God.
Officer Meekens,
Yes, sir.
give us your report of the crime. Consider that in order.
Yes, sir, as you wish. After all, I am part of the generation that must be told what to do, sir.
You can't fault him for lack of enthusiasm.
How old is he? 22. Okay. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life. Then I did it. After that, I passed out till another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you?
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekens family motto, sir.
I see. Then you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Sorry. Yes, sir, he knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. Alright. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. Suddenly attacked. Fought for my life, then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
Alright, I would like to press the second statement and the second to last statement.
Okay. Kyle?
I was going to say press the last 3 statements.
Okay.
We'll start here. In order to enter the evidence room, you need an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? Ellipses. There it is! I found it! There it is! This is the one right here.
Could you please read us the number?
Yes, sir. It's 4989596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the number 4989596 is shown as being used twice.
Please explain, witness.
It's no real mystery, sir. The first time is when I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room. And the second time is when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during the second time when...
Yes, sir. That's when I spotted my man on the security screen. Alright. Updated the record. Alright. It's only doing what I was trained to do. Let's see. That's... Okay. Let's start there and go down. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir. A knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you? What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You aren't exactly the kind of person someone would want to run into. That's what I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand.
Maybe if you just kept it cool, your hand wouldn't be...
When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. Alright, fought for my life, then I did it. What exactly do you mean when you say you did it? I know I didn't look the type, sir, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let this guard down for just an instant, so I snatched his knife from him. You took his knife? I spun him around to perform the disarming maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. You must have been desperate. The next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in a sea of my blood. And then the next thing I knew...
Yes.
He punched me right in my face, sir! After that, I passed out, and the other officer smacked me awake. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that? I was unconscious. Oh, right.
According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was around 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir. Your mission? Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance just before things got out of hand. Well, we can all rest easy now.
This is what he was telling us yesterday.
Well, we need to try and skim more details from him. For starters, what was an officer from the General Affairs Department doing in there in the first place?
Right, let's press him for all he's worth.
Alright. Although it's not my normal duty, it's assigned to guard room the evidence room. Assigned to guard the evidence room the next day.
Sounds like they just want us to press every statement.
Yeah. Mr. Meekens, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes. Now there's a scary thought.
Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed.
I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
The Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely beast mascot, created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
Oh, that's why you went to the evidence room?
Tell us, what did you see when you got there?
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
You don't get to ask your question, Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim?
He's got a point.
Uh. Yes, Officer Meekens.
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. I was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The chief?
Delivered it?
What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir, that's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection! What? But I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look.
Shh. No.
Oh, show us a video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using the word murderer, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Oh boy.
Come on, Phoenix. You had to have known this was going to be an inevitability.
I know. I love this song. I hope you love it too.
Whoa.
Damn, that's convenient.
That's so crazy.
Got his shit kicked in.
Yeah, it looks like Officer Meekens is the one that was getting murdered.
Ellipses.
It's cursed.
Ellipses.
Ellipses!
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood?
Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire criminal affairs department, sir. That's Sonic the Hedgehog. Well, I'm not surprised this isn't going smoothly. Alright, security video added to the court record.
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did indeed encounter someone.
I'll be right back.
Alright.
And the
I didn't get the choice there, just did that, sorry.
Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that alright with you, Officer Meekens?
Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. Mystery Man. Should we wait for Kyle to get back, or just... Yeah, we can review the statements, it's fine. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker, equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well. The defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead. But everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Alright, so we have...
No.
Nope.
Oh, can't be clearly seen. Okay.
Yeah. There's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman. I mean, he opened the locker, which requires Detective Goodman's fingerprint. The locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Go back to?
This one?
No. One more. We can't review the video, can we?
I think we can.
Is there any way to speed it up?
There are controls
Okay.
in different parts, but not here.
We don't have to watch or listen to the music. That's fine.
Yeah. You will later. Yeah, we can't really speed it up.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Alright, let's... Kyle, welcome back.
Yes.
Here's our new testimony here. We haven't done anything yet. So,
Okay.
his face can't clearly be seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do, but the locker he opened is unquestionably Detective Goodman's locker. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it.
Mhm.
Press that last one.
Yeah. For sure.
However, the most important detail is not shown in this video. The man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir!
Please do. After all, you are all... wait. You are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened the fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can testify enough to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is. Unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court records again.
Is there a problem with the security video?
Yes.
There is a problem. Regarding the
It's
video...
disturbing.
Regarding the video contained on this tape, it has horrific music. There's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange.
This contradiction leads us to the possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Objection. Interesting, Your Honor. I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth.
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video.
He would want me to point it out.
Very well. Proposal accepted. Let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us this contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that.
You can do it, Mr. Wright.
Now we can do that.
It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing.
Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. Me too, Mike Meekens. Me too. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where's the contradiction that indicates the man...
May not be Detective Goodman. I couldn't control that one either. Well,
Fast forward to like near the end.
like when he's just lying there.
Nope. Keep going. And pause it.
No, damn it. Hold on.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, it's because he's wearing a white cloak. That's why.
One more. Pause. That locker has been opened.
That is true. I will say, how does that prove he's not Goodman, though?
Doesn't prove he's not Goodman, just proves that there's something fishy going on. That's true.
Yeah, but they don't
That will come
want
back
to
up.
hear
But
what's fishy. They want to hear how is it not Goodman. All right, let's play this again.
all right. Here's what I'm gonna do. Do you see anything strange?
Yeah,
What's strange?
the locker is lit.
Locker is indeed lit.
Yeah.
The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. The Officer Meekens. Sir, do you mean me, sir? As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. They won't stop with the music. When you grab a handle, the sensor reads your fingerprint if it's a match. The light turns on and the lock is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something is seriously wrong with this picture.
Wait.
I can't control it.
Okay.
They were really proud of this segment. That they,
I know. They're like, holy shit, guys, we can have 3D models now. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind to a little earlier.
I'm going mad.
Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
I'm sorry. What? Oh my god. Order. What is the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime.
But the locker locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered, and the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. Must have been broken down. Of course, not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. The sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well. Just goes to show novices should keep their mouths shut.
Yeah, that's right, Your Honor.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the lock unlocked?
Me, Your Honor? Ellipses. Yeah, well, you see, this isn't exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator?
Huh? Oh, maybe something like jammed the system sensor?
Something jammed the sensor? Say,
Okay.
there's something else that seems out of place in this video.
Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage.
Let's review it.
the
Let's review the
handkerchief.
tape, shall we?
Very well, let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked. Mr. Wright, please point out the
The cause.
the cause of this one. It's the handkerchief. Alright, I will be right back.
Oh. Is it the...
No. It's not the handkerchief.
It falls out. It wasn't there beforehand either. Nothing there. Still unlocked and doors open. And so handkerchief gets added, but that doesn't stop. That doesn't cause the light to open.
Right.
What the hell? What are we looking for? Something falls out though. Is that kind of what we're looking for? Oh, there's a glove.
Yes.
There we go.
That's what we're looking for right here.
Okay. I'm Ace Detective.
Please watch closely. This is a continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
Oh my God.
Blessedly muted. I love watching this so many times. It's my favorite thing ever. I told you it was
Yeah,
great
it's
last
weird.
week. How cool this part is.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when the doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I open my car door, sir. Objection. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
Hell yeah.
And now it's just completely silent? Alright.
Yeah.
Alright.
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, my tie chokes me.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Like some sort of glove. Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents, like some sort of glove. It would need to be an insulator.
Maybe a glove made out of, rubber.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene...
There just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... I think I finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant...
Yes. Alright. What are we thinking?
Glub.
The glubby.
Glub.
Oops, wrong button. There we go. Found this near the locker, a thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that was the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker. But that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this. On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekens? Sir, it would appear so, sir!
Order, order, order. So, are we to believe then that the victim whom the witness stabbed in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman?
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this.
What?
Officer Meekens, please testify about this.
Sir, me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke?
Very well. Begin your testimony.
Mystery Man 2. There's one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
How does that prove it? An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt, this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room is only used for storing certain special cases.
Special cases?
Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, although it doesn't make much of a difference.
There were only a few cases up for transferal there, and most were cleared up by noon.
Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
Alright, Mystery Man 2. So there's one other thing that proves that man was Detective Goodman. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When the ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card. What are we thinking?
Let's see. At the time of the crime, the detective used it. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. Use card, use the record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective would use his card. What's the very first statement? One other thing that proves the man was detective. Go to the next statement. Next one. No, the last one.
This one?
Yep. Let's press that.
Alright. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir, he wouldn't show me any ID card, sir! Don't you think that's a little odd? I mean, if he had used his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Ellipses! Maybe he just panicked! Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out.
Mr. Wright, what do you think?
I'm confused.
What?
The problem with his ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like that.
You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we got.
Alright. You want to review evidence?
Oh yeah.
Alright. Let's see.
So that's what they want us to...
So there's ID card found at the prosecutor's office crime scene. that ID number.
Do we have the list of the check-in list?
We do.
Can we look at that?
Mhm. So Edgeworth, Meekens, Goodman, and then Meekens again.
Okay.
What else? I'm gonna look at. There's. Oops, that's not what I meant to pull up. So we still have the King of Prosecutor's Trophy. This is the knife at the other crime scene. Parking stub, record of the parking office, Blue Badger panel, death due loss of blood, one knife wound, died within 1 hour and a half of 4 p.m. Goodman's note, Goodman's memo found in the car trunk. Word muffler was overheard during the call made to MO 518, parking lot with Edward's car. Taken by Angel Star after the crime was committed. Victim's shoe, white enamel shoe, bears traces of blood from Goodman and Lana Sky. Knife found at the crime scene wrapped in the defendant's muffler, small tag attached. The testing fluid, ID card record, we would just read that. Fingerprinting set. Screwdriver, evidence of past case of Edgeworth, brought back to his office by Gant's request. Goodman's lost item report, half-written document dated 12/2/21, can only be submitted to the Chief of Police. Date lost 2/21, Bruce Goodman. ID 5, blah blah blah, status report. So you did lose something. Evidence room floor plans, seen the stabbing of a at PD. Looks like this, and the blood is marked. The rubber glove found in the evidence, SL9, extremely thin rubber glove. Evidence locker only signed detective's prints can unlock it, indicator lamp section opened. The jar with the missing piece. Marshall's fingerprints found on a bloody handprint left in the evidence room. Prints have been wiped, and the security video.
Take a look at Goodman's card again. That's interesting.
It's weird they blur out the rank
Yeah, I don't
name and
I don't really know why, because like they still read it to you. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's hidden information. We already read that.
Hmm.
So what do you think? There is something, we don't need to press anything, there is a contradiction that we can do.
Yeah, I'm kind of stumped.
Hang on. Can we look at the statements again?
All the statements, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When the ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used his card.
Okay, and back to evidence. Back to the card. And the ticket.
The parking ticket?
Yep.
512.
And the sheet.
What sheet? Oh, the sign-in sheet?
Yeah. That's interesting.
It is very interesting. That's true. Well, I think you've caught on to this contradiction.
Yeah, I just don't know if that's what we want to.
Well, I think that's good enough, honestly. You are on the right
Yeah.
track there. We just need to present the ID card because it was found. in the
Okay, yeah, I was like,
prosecutor's
which piece of evidence
Yeah.
do we want to present?
Yeah.
This is really what I was on.
Yeah, you figured it out. We just needed the right piece. So yeah, we're just gonna present the ID card. Objection. Wait one moment, Officer Meekens. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
That makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office.
Ellipses.
Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
Lost item report. Only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report.
Let me guess. You believe this something to be his ID card, right?
I can't say for sure, but there is a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order! Order! So now, what does this all mean?
It can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekens encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order, order, order! Does the prosecution have a response?
Ellipses. I have only one thing to say to the defense.
Ellipses?
You're cute.
Bravo, Mr. Wright.
Bravo.
Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 p.m. on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekens encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright?
Yes. What's he up to?
That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder.
That is... well, I guess that's right.
Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around.
This isn't gonna end well.
Well, well. It seems you've finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
I love how over the top this is. It's fucking glorious.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done the explaining for me. The victim in this video is a fake, which means a murder did not take place. At the police department at 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So
So the real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot. At the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon.
Trustworthy.
She committed perjury. Ah! You knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
The activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekens encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of the Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Yo, Mr. Wright, we had to do something else or else Lana...
What do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess? Well, I mean, there's only one thing we can do, right? Wait and see what
I don't
happens.
know what we'd object with. Yeah.
No, we want to object,
Okay.
but it'll become clear in a moment. One moment, Your Honor.
What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven.
Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap.
What are you talking about?
This cross-examination has proven one and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. Yes. Let's let it ride.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alright. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
However, it cannot be said that this is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room.
Ellipses.
The defense demands further the defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Ellipses. Mr. Edgeworth.
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court were to examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident.
This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand.
Mr. Wright, do you mean...
Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness.
Oh? Whom do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room.
The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
I call it the Stand Edgeworth.
What now, bitch?
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testify. What is his or her name?
Well, of course. Officer Jake Marshall.
Why him?
I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel we should hear what he has to say.
The prosecution agrees to the defense's request, only because he's so cute. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. While the prosecution, please prepare the witness during this time.
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess. Subpoenaed.
Subpoenaed.
Suponied.
February 24th, 11:32 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Ellipses. There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured out everything. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out.
Lana, you're the only one who knows everything.
Emma.
You always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you.
I don't recall ever asking for his protection.
How can you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me?
Ellipses. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, Prowl. Ellipses.
Ellipses.
Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Bye, Gumshoe. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? Got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around while on duty. And to top it off, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey. Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I have thought this was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SL9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Lana, that's...
Thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor. Oh, Jesus. I can't believe you, the chief prosecutor. We're a witness in that case. This guy was a witness? SL9 incident files. Files for the Joe Dark killings solved 2 years ago. Take it from me. You don't want anything to do with serial murders. Ellipses. Well, what? Now I brought you your stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma, but why? Why is your name in here?
What? My name's in there. I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that...
Ellipses. That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings.
The Joe Doc? No. No, Lana. That's over with. No.
Emma, wait! She ran away. Ah, you know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings 2 years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you might just be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trial, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. Better take a good look at this file. Alright, to be continued. We got one more court session. We feeling we can finish it? Or at least the court session?
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
save.
good to go.
Yeah. Alright, February 24th, 12:14 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 9.
The court will now reconvene for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
heck?
Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Oh, Jesus Christ, Jake, what the fuck? Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it. Oh, I know. You're a patrolman.
As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind call it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor.
Howling wind? I've never heard Edward described that way before.
Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day that the crime took place. Is this correct?
Corner of the papers, partner.
What do you mean?
Desperado soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper can sum it up.
Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimonies of the day of the crime. In plain old English. Yeah, take your cowboy LARPing elsewhere, dude.
Day of the crime. My job was to keep a wary eye on the bone orchard. They say it was supposed to make the rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it all went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Jesus Christ. I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems? I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those. Yeah, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers? The fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those? It's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines or with following orders.
Everyone's got their weaknesses now, don't they, Mr. Prosecutor?
This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
Alright. Crime. Well,
I apologize. I am back.
all good.
Welcome back.
First thing I want to do before we get this testimony started is review these files that we got. Files for the Joe Dark killing solved 2 years ago. Incident SL9 closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime scene serial murder. Sentence death. Victims Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Trial data, head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witness Lana Skye, Emma Skye. Investigation task force, executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Head investigator Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. Alright. Here are the statements from this testimony in. The job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They say I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it all went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
Doesn't he hate machines?
He does.
So he's down to just let his job be done by.
Yeah, he's just like, he's straight up on the witness stand. Is like, yeah, I fucked off from work and went to go drink instead.
I wasn't there. Yeah. Let's review evidence, shall we? So we got the badge, the trophy, the knife, the parking stub, the badger, the autopsy report, oops, Goodman's note, cell phone, floor plans of the parking lot, crime photo with Lana, victim's shoe, switchblade knife, luminol testing fluid, ID card record, fingerprinting set, oops, no, screwdriver, evidence from past case of Edgeworth brought back to his office by Gant's request, Goodman's lost item report, handwritten document dated 2/21, evidence room floor plans, stabbing a detective at the PD, rubber glove, tagged evidence from the SL9 incident, extremely thin rubber glove, evidence locker only signed to detective's prints can lock it, indicator lamp lights up when it's open, unstable jar pieced back together from fragments found at the crime scene, a piece is missing, Marshall's fingerprints found on a bloody handprint and left in the evidence room, the print had been wiped,
Ooh,
security video,
we should probably present that right there.
yeah. Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd that you being called in to testify like this? Ellipses. After all, you weren't in the security room at the time of the crime. And yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind at the scene. Or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there. I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
What's the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints are all over this damn crime scene.
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Ellipses. Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. Nah?
Proceeds to decapitate the entire courtroom.
I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall?
About these blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well. You may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Alright, blood-stained fingerprints. Like I said, it was only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See, I had nothing to do with it.
The witness's explanation appears valid, although there's room for doubt.
Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Now's my chance to prove it. Alright, here we go. So, like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in that evidence room. One of them just happened to be at the same place as that bloodstained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. The bloodstain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves?
Except the murderer's hand had blood on it, and where we found the fingerprint did not.
Right.
So doesn't that devalue his claim?
Maybe.
I just don't know what evidence we'd present to even show that. Also, how did he know the murderer was wearing gloves?
I mean, he was. Well, I mean, he was at the. He was involved in both investigations.
So? Oh, well. Wait, he's a detective. He was a detective on the DL6 and
Or SL9.
SL9 and this one. DL6 was a while ago.
Edgeworth, yeah. Edgeworth's Daddy-O was DL6.
Right.
Which is not involved in this at all.
Right.
So what are we thinking?
Natural product being one of the some places of bloodstained handprint. Murder touched the walker with my fingerprint was by chance. Bloodstain and fingerprint are completely unrelated. Have we pressed
So you-
any of these statements?
What?
Have we pressed any of these statements?
No, we haven't.
Yeah, let's go ahead and press this last one.
How do you know that? I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on reports.
There was a bloodstain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer.
That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker.
However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint.
Yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer wearing gloves happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
It's the only logical conclusion. Tell him to squirm out of this one. Gotta find something. Something decisive to tie Officer Marshall to this crime.
What evidence do we have?
Goodman's ID.
The shield, the knife, ticket.
Oops. Oops, my bad. Badger.
Sonic, autopsy report, note, phone,
Floor
parking
plans.
lot, fan photo, shoe, broken knife, luminol, testing fluid, ID card report. Oh! We don't know what his ID number is. If he went in, shouldn't he be on the list? He's probably that top one for sure, but...
Well, he's saying that he wasn't in there at all. Yeah.
Wait, he's saying he wasn't in there at all. But his fingerprints were in there.
Right, and he's saying, of course they were in there because that my job is normally to be
In
guarding
there.
that room.
Yeah.
So the fingerprint just happens to be overlaid of where I happen to touch.
Right.
I think Kyle's onto something though with that, the punching in.
Okay.
Go to the next page because I know it's not anything like this first page.
Yeah.
So it's all related to
It'd start like
the
here.
parking lot stuff. Yeah.
So we do have this.
Screwdrivers. I'm gonna.
This is the screwdriver. Goodman's lost item report.
Report.
The evidence room floor plans. We can check those if you want.
Blood. Two
Rubber
lockers.
glove. Evidence locker. Unstable jar. Marshall's fingerprints. Security video. And the SL9 instant files.
Okay, maybe we need to press some more.
What else do you want to press?
For the next statement. One of them just happened to be at the same place as the bloodstained handprint. Next one. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance. Completely unrelated. Go back 3. Let's press this.
So then, what about the bloody handprint? Wasn't mine. It's no mystery.
Please explain.
My locker is covered with my fingerprints. It just so happened.
It was by chance.
But it touched a different locker that wasn't his, I thought.
No, because the bloody handprint on that locker doesn't have any fingerprints. Because they were wearing a glove.
Right.
And then this one, this bloody handprint, we don't actually have any fingerprints of the bloody handprint because it was wiped away.
Mhm.
We just know that there were other fingerprints on the locker, which match up with Jake Marshall's. But if that's Jake Marshall's locker, of course his fingerprints are going to be all over it normally. So what we need to do is we need to tie him to being in the room.
Yep.
And I don't know. It's brain broke.
Let's press this statement.
Okay.
That's because you, how did you put it, pay your respects once a month? Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams. Now see, it'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker. Apparently his fingerprint data was never removed from the locker's programming. He must have been using the fingerprint lock all this time without ever knowing it. Alright. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood. It's the desert. It's just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape. As long as my trail isn't there, you can't say otherwise.
This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now then, continue your testimony, Officer Marshall.
I got it. It's the fucking handkerchief.
Too bad it
Because we
wasn't
know-
me in that video, right, partner?
Because when he enters the room, we can clearly see there's not a handkerchief in his locker. But when he's leaving the room, we see that a handkerchief was put into Jake Marshall's locker. But the only way that somebody could have opened that is if Jake Marshall was in that room.
Exactly.
Ha-ha!
You got it. So we're gonna get there. We can't. Weirdly enough, we don't present the videotape on this. We just press this. What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? Ellipses. If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have. But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. Camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, you can show us evidence in this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present. Please do so now.
Oh yeah. Very well. Allow me to point out your mistake, Officer Marshall.
Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making the mistake.
Well then, let's have another look at that video. Show us the incriminating evidence on the witness's video.
Well, we know what we're looking for. Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Officer Marshall. Ellipses. The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less? Didn't you say you've never been to Texas? Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video. Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner. The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video.
So I'm pretty sure the days are long in Texas.
Yeah.
The locker with the white cloth sticking out. That was the witnesses, I believe.
Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Riveting.
Oh, the white cloth is gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened your locker when the camera was turned away.
Order.
Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. Ellipses. So what if my locker was opened? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it.
Ellipses.
The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened a locker and stuck it in. It's not my fault he happened to choose mine.
Ellipses.
Ellipses. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man? This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain on your parade, but you're the only person that can open that particular locker. Oh yeah? I'll call your bluff. You say open that locker? Now prove it. I mean, yeah man, like, it's pretty easy. Fingerprint sensor? We talked about this earlier today, man. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to. What kind of crazy talk is this? Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less? I only got 1 word for you, partner. No!
Oh shit, that was 8 words.
Order. 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 Witness, explain yourself.
This is a joke. It's the worst I've ever heard. I assure you, this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Ellipses.
Ole, please answer the question.
What is he now, a bullfighter? That's alright, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest out from here.
We can.
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide evidence in the evidence room. Yet, Officer Meekens didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer.
That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the...
At the time of the crime. Where was he at?
There's the big red K.
It's actually the big red V. Because
Oh.
I don't like this because they are still implying that the K is Officer Meekens for some reason.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
yeah. But you're thinking the right thoughts though.
Yeah.
Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's where the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekens witnessed the detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
May I point out, though, that Officer Meekens did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. When I entered the evidence room, I asked him to show his card, sir. Yes, and how did the Detective Goodman respond? He suddenly pulled a knife on me! Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why wouldn't he just show it?
Yes, he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekens would have realized that the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall? Ellipses. You've got quite an imagination, partner. We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it. You're gonna have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you have hard evidence to prove not dressed up as the victim.
I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
Can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining. You already used that one.
Well,
buddy.
Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, who am I kidding? I don't have anything like that. I could see the fear in your eyes, partner. Seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. Yeah, this can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Ellipses. It looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed. I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics.
The basics? For me, that'd be what Mia used to tell me. Phoenix, try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof like that Officer Marshall was in disguise. But rather, I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise.
Why do you think this locker was opened in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason for Officer Marshall to open his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance it might be discovered later, as it has been.
Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime.
Then, after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that. He opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps the video is the key to all of our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot. Ellipses.
Very well, let's take yet another look at the security tape.
Encore, encore, encore.
After committing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open the door.
This banger again. Alright. See anything on him?
He's not wearing gloves.
Hmm. So the club falls out.
Still nothing. So
Now he's
dashes.
wearing... Right now.
Flashes with a knife.
You can like frame by frame it. Nothing. Nothing really.
Yeah.
Oh. Let's see. Go back. Okay, so we got
Landed against the wall. Dashes back. Brandishes the knife. And he's gone. And then the napkin's in there. I assume it's to wipe blood off the knife. But
What about the shoe?
oh, the bloody shoe.
Yeah.
Well, the shoe. Let me pull it up here. The blood is Detective Goodman's and Lana Sky's.
Okay.
This one's pretty hard to notice. But there is something that
we are looking for the cloth, right? Or-
we're looking for why the cloth is needed in the first place.
Well, he's got blood on his shoulder.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right there. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekens barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekens panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
Couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker. Not bad, partner.
Now then, Officer Marshall. Are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all. Hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
Ellipses.
2 years ago, you were only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have had to be here now, would we? Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it. All right. Seems the time has come. Marshall's confession. I had to do it that day. Couldn't just stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. I planned to take out the evidence. Wasn't expecting Officer Meekens. I knocked him out. And I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So the supposed victim was really you.
But there's one thing I still don't understand. Traces of a large quantity of blood were found on the floor of the evidence room. If no one was murdered, then how could that be?
Officer Meekens managed to cut his own hand. My guess is he's the donor. It was way too much blood for such a small donation. Alright. Had to do it that day. I couldn't just let it stand by and let it die. I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. Planned to take out the evidence. I wasn't expecting Officer Meekens. I knocked him out. I managed to escape. I knew which areas wouldn't be caught on the camera. There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
Let's go back to the statement. Wasn't not that one. Let's press these first two statements actually.
Alright, when you say it, you mean... Do you even have to ask, partner? The SL9 incident.
2 years have passed since that case was closed. It was going to completely end with the transferal that day.
Not if I have everything to do with it. That incident's not over. What did you hope to accomplish by sneaking into the evidence room? When a case is closed, only that case's lead detective can look through the evidence. I wanted to have a look at it myself one more time. No matter what the cost. I don't care what anyone says, partner. That case is mine. But Officer Marshall wasn't in charge of that investigation. Why does he care so much about it? That day was my last chance. That's why I stole the detective's ID and dressed like him. Planned to take out the evidence. Why'd you disguise yourself as Detective Goodman? Why did it make it look like Goodman was carrying out the evidence transferal? I'd be arrested for stealing evidence with that, which wouldn't get me anywhere.
So you did it to fool the security camera.
On the detective's ID card?
I stole that the morning of the incident. So that really was why Goodman started filling out that lost item report. Oh my god. I returned his ID card. I left it on the floor of the prosecutor's office parking lot. The ID card I found was left there by Officer Marshall.
So essentially, you managed to succeed despite your lack of foresight.
What do you mean, partner?
I mean, the fingerprint activated lock, of course. No matter how well you disguise yourself, you can't change your fingerprints. Under normal circumstances, you wouldn't have been able to open that locker by yourself.
But he could because a rubber glove just happened to be stuck in the door. It means Detective Goodman must have opened that locker before Officer Marshall. Alright, wasn't expecting Officer Meekens, I knocked him out. I managed to escape, knew which areas would be caught on the camera. There isn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
So, why did he have to disguise himself if he could just dodge the camera?
Yeah, I was gonna say go back and press that.
Which one was that?
It's
This one.
Yep.
So you did your research beforehand. Those who go into the desert unprepared don't live that long, partner. I didn't think it would make a difference, though. The security tape is erased every 6 hours. If all had gone as planned, no footage would have been left.
However, you bloodied your coat in your struggle with Officer Meekens.
someone was in the security room when I came out, Jig would have been up. I opened my locker and stashed it in there. What was Officer Meekens doing during that time? What else? He was sleeping like a baby.
So what you're saying is, on that day,
There wasn't any murder in the evidence room at 5:15.
That's that one too. It's weird that he says there wasn't a murder at 5:15.
But the blood found at the scene certainly indicates a crime took place. What are you, blind? The victim shown on that tape is me, and I'm not dead yet, partner.
So you stole the evidence from the locker.
Actually, no I didn't.
Why not?
When I opened the locker, the evidence was already gone.
what? Mr. Edgeworth, where is that evidence?
It's still missing, Your Honor.
Don't we have it?
Detective Goodman's locker was already empty. Someone else stole the evidence. I had a feeling it'd wind up here sooner or later. Anyone involved here is related in some way to that case. I better take another look at the files. Alright,
Let's take a look at the files.
let's take a look at the files, shall we? Alright, SL9. Closed. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Crime. Serial murder. Sentence. Death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Trial data: Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth, witnesses Lana Emma Sky, and investigation task force executive investigators Damon Gant, Lana Sky, head investigators Bruce Goodman, investigators Jake Marshall, Angel Star.
They just told us who was involved in the case. They didn't point out any evidence or anything, did it?
Hold up, so he was an investigator for it.
Yeah, correct.
And Edgeworth was the prosecutor.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Trial data: head
The
prosecutor.
victims don't matter, do they?
I don't know. Do the victims not matter?
Oh, Neil Marshall.
Hey, good eye. Neil Marshall?
Who's Neil Marshall?
Who is Neil Marshall? That's a good question. You pulled the knife on Officer Meekens and tried to drive him off? That was my bad. Let's just say I was a little surprised. Only planned on being in the evidence room for no more than 5 minutes. I didn't think anyone would actually come in during that short time.
Officer Meekens. Clearly is a 1 in a million type person. Mistaking a detective for an intruder and demanding to be shown in his ID.
I have to think a little more about his raise this year.
Did Edgeworth get so much influence? Anyway, he threw himself at me and I ended up cutting him slightly. I'm sorry I had to turn out that way. With me knocking him out and everything. By the way, what happened to your knife? Oh, you mean this one? Ellipses. I don't know what to say.
So you knocked Officer Meekens out and...
Officer Marshall, may I ask you one thing? Fire away, partner. It's a free country. Just remember, I'm also free to decide whether or not to answer. Why did you do
Not
this?
really, but okay.
Stealing a detective's ID? Injuring a police officer? This is no small offense.
Wherever you're an officer yourself, this will have serious consequences. It can't just be forgiven with a simple cut in salary.
Not that salary cuts are ever a valid solution. Ellipses. Like I said, this isn't your case. This one is mine. And I'll do anything it takes to get an answer I'm satisfied with.
The witness has unusual amount of zeal. Let's hear more.
I just can't forget the SL9 incident. You know why?
We can
Press that, I guess.
I was gonna say we can probably present the report.
Yeah, but that case was solved 2 years ago, wasn't it?
That's the reason the evidence was stored in the evidence room.
Joe Dark was convicted for his crimes. One thing I can say for sure is he deserved his sentence.
I remember the Joe Dark case. Involved serial murders, didn't it?
I don't intend to complain about how it turned out, but there's something that still bothers me. Something went down that trail. Something no one will talk about.
What happened?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Ellipses.
Why is he so concerned with that incident? Maybe I should press him and think with what I think his real reason is. I had a feeling he'd wind up here sooner or later. Blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, just present the case, I guess?
Yeah.
Objection. Officer Marshall, I think I understand. I think I know why you care so much about the SL9 incident. Sounds like you've been sipping too much cactus juice, partner. It's the quenchiest. The SL9.
It'll quench you.
It'll quench you. Have the SL9 incident file here. The name Marshall is mentioned here. In a list of murder victims. Neil Marshall. Are you related to this man?
Neil Marshall.
At least they didn't do the case 4 thing with like, okay, which of the 4 pages is it on?
Right?
Yeah, I'm sure you've heard the name. 2 years ago. He received the same lousy prosecutor award you got.
What? A prosecutor?
He must be talking about the King of Prosecutors award.
Now I remember Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He handled the SL9 case before I did.
That's right, he was killed. And the case fell into your hands.
But what's his relation to you?
He was my brother. He was investigating the murders with Damon Gant, then Deputy Chief of Police. The group of detectives I was part of worked under them. We were desperate to prosecute the killer. Joe Dark. My brother fought Dark and was killed. That was the first time Dark was left behind any evidence. That was all we needed. He was arraigned and incarcerated. The case was finally closed. At least according to the public records.
What do you mean?
My brother couldn't have been killed by Joe Dark. I knew my brother better than anyone. No one could have beaten him in a fight.
And that's it? That's your reason for your insane actions?
There's more to my brother's death than what the records say. No matter how much you try to hide it, you can't fool me.
Ellipses.
Well, at least one thing's for certain. Now we know what happened to the police department on the day of the crime.
That was the last day the SL9 case could be reopened. Not satisfied with its resolution, Officer Marshall planned to steal the evidence.
Disguising himself as Detective Goodman, he entered the evidence room. Officer Meekens confronted him, so he rendered him unconscious and fled.
Yes, this mysteriously has finally been cleared up. No murder took place at the police department that day. The things that happen by chance never cease to amaze. At exactly the same time as the murder at the prosecutor's office, this fake murder was going on at the police department.
Chance. It's gotta be more than just that.
So if no one was murdered at the police department on the day of the crime, that means the murder in the prosecutor's office parking lot was the real one.
Which in turn means only one person could have committed the crime. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky.
Objection! But wait, a verdict wasn't reached in yesterday's trial.
Objection! Which is why we examined the incident at the police department today.
But...
There's only one reason the defendant was not convicted yesterday. There yet remained the mystery of the simultaneous murder at the police department.
Seems to me, this boy's got the draw on you, partner.
All of the mysteries at the police department have been resolved, no doubt about it. Our sole murder took place at the prosecutor's office. The only suspect is Lana Sky. And the testimony of one Miss Angel Star is completely incontestable.
I wouldn't say that. Yeah.
If you have a response, make it a single word or less.
Objection!
Ellipses.
I rest my case.
So the trial has reached its conclusion. There's no room for doubt.
Well done, Mr. Wright. Thanks to you, I didn't mean to waste my time. Disproving the alleged murder at the police department.
There's no doubt what I proved today is true. The apparent murder on the security camera's tape really was fake. But I didn't realize that would end up proving Lana guilty.
Now then, the time for the verdict has arrived. This court finds the defendant...
Oh. Your Honor, wait.
Emma!
The defense has an objection. A scientific objection. Right?
What do you mean, right?
Mr. Wright. Are you this girl's guardian?
Your Honor? Oh, in a sense.
Please, Yana. All I'm asking is for a minute of your time. Please, hear me out. Mr. Edgeworth, please. Ellipses. I don't want to leave any loose ends. You want a minute? I'll give you 3.
Good guy.
I was kinda in shock. I mean, finding out the SL9 incident referred to the Joe Dark killings.
Now that she mentions it, the names of both Sky Sisters were in that file.
But that's when I figured it out. I mean, that Officer Marshall was trying to do that day. So I knew his fingerprints had nothing to do with the crime. That left only one thing. The other handprint. You mean the traces of blood found on Detective Gumshoe's locker?
But no fingerprints were found on it, right?
No, but I figured if I examined it scientifically, I'd be sure to find a clue. So, I ran over there and looked at it again.
So did you find something?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry. I guess I'm not much of a scientific investigator after all.
Ellipses.
Ellipses.
Is that all?
Please don't be mad. I'm just a high school student.
And I'm just an attorney.
But Mr. Wright, those traces of blood are the only clue we have. If we can't find something wrong with them... Please, Mr. Wright, you're a professional. If anyone can save Lana, it's you.
Me? Oh boy.
Time's up. Now then, Mr. Wright. With regard to the incident at the police department, does any reasonable doubt remain?
It appears the defense is troubled by the other blood mark. Hey, what up, new Weeble?
Oh, what's up?
Looking at the floor plans, a handprint was discovered around here. Is there a problem with this? Mr. Wright, I'm sorry I can't be more use. But still, if you can't find anything wrong with that blood mark, Lana will be...
Please answer my question, Mr. Wright. We don't have all day.
Yes, Your Honor. If ever I've needed to concentrate, it's now. What could be wrong with that handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker? Could there be something I'm missing?
There is something.
Yeah, there's gotta be something, right? Objection. This handprint left at the crime scene clearly shows a contradiction.
The only thing that seems clear is you're grasping, Mr. Wright.
We've been staring pretty intently at these floor plans.
The only problem is your badge. It's true, actually. The attorney's badge is always the problem.
Tell me, is there a problem with them?
Ellipses. Yes, this is strange. Take a good look at these floor plans. Something is missing.
Missing? You mean something hasn't been drawn on there?
Yes, something that, when drawn, completely changed the meaning of the blood mark.
Okay, maybe I'm at a loss.
Let us pray the defense isn't simply trying to buy time. Very well, Mr. Wright.
With all this evidence here, there's gotta be something I can use.
The question is, which item can prove something is missing from the floor plans?
I was gonna say, how could a blood print been left on Gumshoe's locker when the stupid Sonic the Hedgehog stand was right in front of it?
I mean,
I don't think that's it.
no. No, you're right.
Oh, I'm right?
You are right.
Yeah!
What were you gonna say, Ian?
No, that's fine.
Okay. What about that piece of plywood? The Blue Badger, mascot of the police force. Defender of truth, guardian of proof.
Explain yourself, Mr. Wright.
Please look at the floor plans of the crime scene. The Blue Badger is not here. So, watch what happens when we put him in. This is where he was dancing at the time of the crime. Well?
Well, what?
That's right. So long as the Blue Badger is dancing here, it would be impossible to place a handprint at the spot on the locker. What?
Takes me the real asshole. Dirty up, stained with all his beard shavings.
I know, dude.
So that means, just exactly what does that mean?
It means it can't be done.
What are you saying? Blood traces were undeniably found at the locker.
Don't look at me. I didn't put it there.
Yo, Mr. Wright, think it through scientifically, bitch.
Emma, you're back.
On that afternoon, Officer Meekens was the one who brought the Blue Badger to the evidence room, right? After he put it down, it would be impossible to leave a handprint on that locker.
So that must mean this blood mark was left there before the Blue Badger was brought in.
Just one moment. I will not allow such far-fetched balderdash in my courtroom.
It may sound far-fetched, Your Honor, but it's the only possible explanation. On February 21st, in the police department's evidence room, blood was spilled not once, but twice.
But how?
One time was captured on this tape, taken by the security camera. Officer Meekens cut his hand from which a trivial amount of blood fell. The problem is, the other time. Someone bled prior to the Shirls shown on this tape. It had to have been. It had to have been Detective Goodman when he was really murdered.
That's ridiculous. I refuse to accept your absurd claim.
Objection. The murder portrayed in the security tape has been proven to be a fake. However, that does not explain the blood mark found on the locker.
So then, assuming this murder you purport really happened, when did it take place? I demand you show the evidence that proves when it occurred.
When did the first incident occur?
To summarize, the defense claims that prior to Officer Meekens being cut by Jake Marshall, who was posing as Detective Goodman, another incident took place in the evidence room.
That's right. The blood mark on the locker proves this.
Very well. Then tell us, when did the first incident occur? As Mr. Edgeworth said, proof must be presented.
Proof that shows when the murder took place. There's only one piece of evidence that can show that.
Now then, will the defense please present this evidence? What shows when the first crime took place?
Sign-in sheet?
Yeah, it's gonna be the sign-in sheet, I think. We're gonna get to the bottom of that 777 number.
Oh, you know we are. If the crime took place inside the evidence room, then the killer would have had to enter it. And in order to do so, an ID card would have been required.
An ID card? Oh. The ID card record.
Officer Meekens brought the Blue Badger panel into the evidence room at... Let's see here. Oh, shit.
Let's see here. 4:50 p.m. If the crime took place before that time, then it would be 4:40 p.m. Miles Edgeworth, just what have you done?
I never would have figured you had the nerve, boy.
Drop the act, witness.
Oh shit.
It doesn't take a lot of thought to figure out it couldn't have been me.
Nope, I ain't getting it.
I'm afraid I don't understand either.
It's clear from the luminol test that blood was there. However, when the second crime took place, both Officer Meekens and Officer Marshall failed to notice the blood.
That means the blood from the first crime was wiped away by the real murderer.
I would have had just 10 minutes to murder the victim, carry his body away, and clean up the blood. Unfortunately, that's physically impossible.
That would mean a ghost did it. Am I right?
Yeah, I think a ghost did it. Trial wrapped up cleanly.
The crime must have taken place before Mr. Edgeworth entered the evidence room.
Let's look at the chart again. There's only one other card remaining. 777 7777. Talk about a lucky number.
But wait, that doesn't make sense. How could Detective Goodman have entered the evidence room?
Since there's no record of his card being used beforehand, he must have entered it along with the real murder. That's the only plausible explanation. He went in with 777777. There's 7 sevens, by the way.
Mr. Edgeworth, please look into this as soon as possible. Find out whose ID number is 7777777.
That's 1-7 too many, Your Honor.
Was it? Shit.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to look up the ID card, the owner of that ID card. At least at present.
What? Explain yourself, son.
The ID number 7777777 belongs to someone with the rank of captain or higher. Someone who is a so-called executive officer. We don't have the authority to inquire into such a person's identity.
But that's ridiculous. Just how...
I'm not finished talking, Mr. Wright.
Oh shit.
There is one situation in which we can be granted such authority.
If an official change filed against the executioner is accepted.
And
Charge.
An official charge. You're all alike, aren't you? With your cover-ups and your forgeries. That's how the prosecutor's office operates.
I take pride in my work, Officer Marshall. I would appreciate if you would keep your slander to yourself.
Slander, is it? Okay, let me ask a question.
Yes.
No, not you. To her. The defendant sitting over there. Your own little executive. Lana?
Don't be stupid. She's been charged with a murder. Of course we've looked up her ID number. And it's not 7777777.
Don't play me for a fool, partner. That's not what I want to ask. All I want to know is one thing about that incident.
The SL9 incident?
Answer me this, Chief Prosecutor. In that trial 2 years ago, did you really only use legitimate evidence?
She wasn't the prosecutor.
Do you need the witness to repeat this question, Chief Prosecutor?
I heard him fine, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago, I was in charge of the prosecution for that trial.
Occasionally, we felt the powerlessness of the law. At least, I did. Ellipses! Exclamation point.
Lana.
I became a prosecutor in order to suppress crime with the law. But before I realized it, we were the ones being suppressed by the law.
Defendant, just what are you saying?
I'll ask you again, Chief Prosecutor. During that trial 2 years ago, did you really present all the evidence in court? Can you look me, an investigator in that crime, in the eye and say that you did?
Chief Prosecutor, you didn't.
Ellipses. I don't have to, Officer Marshall.
Why won't you answer me?
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him
Lana,
to
you're the bad guy?
Well, Lana.
Even if it involved forging evidence. That's what I'm talking about.
Order, order, order!
Lana's remarks caused such a stir. The chaos in the courtroom could not be quelled. The conclusion of the trial would have to wait until the following day.
Ooh.
Ooh.
All
I
right.
think that's a fantastic place to end it.
I agree. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in with
Yeah.
Phoenix Wright. We'll be back tomorrow for Valkyria Chronicles 4, Tuesday with XCOM 2, and Thursday with Neo 2.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going back to where we belong.
West Virginia, baby.
Yeah.
And as always, once again, Sundays, more Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Probably will end up finishing this case up and the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we'll announce what we're doing next.
Of course. Have a fantastic rest of your night, everybody.
Take it easy.
Night, folks. Keep it copacetic.